everybody, hope you're all well as always. Welcome back to another video on my LS Patrol. And it's been about 2 weeks since I made a video, so sorry I haven't uploaded last week. I've been trying to battle 36 hours of work a week, crappy weather. Parts for this came in, so I've just been sort of waiting, as well as we are still in stage 4 lockdown, and we probably are going to be for a couple more weeks. So here's the beast. I've been actually doing a little bit of work to it off camera, just bits and pieces I didn't really think was interesting filming. So first of all, I've got the airbox sitting in there and sort of mounted in there with all the bolts and stuff on it, so that's how it's going to sit in there. But I'm going to put a plastic snorkel on it just for roadworthy, just so it looks all stock. Now you probably see all these red blotches here. I did have a little bit of a scare. So first of all, I'll just talk about what happened last video. So once this plane goes over. Last video we put the lift in, so we did the 2-inch lift. As you can see, it's sort of sitting, looks stock now, looks stock. Like if you just drove this around, no one would think it has an LS1 in it. And it still has a turbo diesel down the side of it, like when it was 2.8, so it looks deceiving. So transfer case is still stuck in 4 low, or 4 high, sorry. So what we have to do is figure out to get that out. Now I do have a transfer case and gearbox coming for $100, so I've got a whole gearbox and transfer for 100. Shout out to you, Dylan. So first of all, I want to address why I think it might be doing that. Now, what I think it might be is, so I talked to the old owner, I did a FaceTime with him, and I sort of asked him out of curiosity what diffs are in it, and he said, the front's got a 4.6, which is the factory RD style diffs, so I run a 4.6. The rear's got a 4.11. Now, I don't know why in tarnation it's got 2 different diff ratios, but apparently it kept breaking the 4.6s at the back. It went through about 7 diffs at the back, so you just put a 4.11 in it just to get it sort of going. Now that it's in 4-wheel drive, if I lock those hubs down there and I drive off, I will break something. So I'm not putting it in 4-wheel drive. It is in 4-wheel drive in the transfer case, just not, thank God it's got manual locking hubs. So that's one thing we've got to address. But I do have a whole front end coming for it that I got for free, 411 front end. So it'll be matching 411 gears. Now another thing I want to quickly address is, a lot of you that follow me on my Instagram saw on my story the other day that you thought I blew an engine. I thought I blew the motor too. I thought I cracked a head or did a cylinder head or something. And as you can see, you probably see in the alternator there's like coolant just sitting in the bottom of it, and all these red dots on the radiator. I started it the other day, started right up perfectly. Had it idling for about 10 minutes from stone cold. It is freezing lately. And out of curiosity, I could just smell something. I'm like, what's that? And then I went inside, opened the door, I looked at the temperature gauge out of curiosity, and it was just under hot. Now, it had been sitting only 10 minutes on a cold day, so I thought, oh shit, that's not good. First thing I thought of was, okay, something's not right in the cooling system. So I called the old owner, just said, hey, like, have you ever had it overheat? He said, nah, the hottest it got doing a skid in second gear, like hard, was about 90 degrees. So it's never overheated. But he did say he had the radiator out of it. It might have an airlock in it. So I said, yeah, cool. So I turned it off, let it cool down. I bled the radiator, started again, and I had the cap off this time, so I could bleed it. And once it started getting a bit of temperature, it started shooting water out of the top, like freaking 10 feet in the air, maybe 3 feet. I said, okay, that's not good. So I checked the oil. Oil's good, no milkiness. I checked the water. The water that came out of it wasn't frothy or milky or anything. That was good. I thought to myself, hang on, the thermo fans have never come on in this car ever. So I got the thermos working, so it was just a blown fuse, easy. It's on a switch or it comes on automatically, but they never came on. So it got hot and I clicked the fans on. As soon as the fans came on, the temps came down again. But it was sort of fluctuating. I said, okay, that's not right. So I came in here. Well, first of all, I did talk to the old owner, and he said there's not really much to go wrong with it. The head gasket shouldn't go just from sitting here. I've taken it for a couple of drives and it hasn't gone. But the car's been sitting for 15 months. So he said, it's probably the thermostat that's stuck. And I said, oh, that's probably a good idea. Maybe it is a thermostat. So I let it warm up a bit and it was getting just above halfway. I clicked the fans on and it come down a bit and it stayed below half where it's supposed to be optimal running temperature. What I did was I grabbed this radiator hose down the bottom. This is after it's hot. Grab the radiator hose, stone cold. So the hose was stone cold. That means we got a stuck thermostat, which is good, because I could just put another thermostat in it. So first of all, I'm going to take the thermostat out and get rid of it so the coolant will flow. The water pump was doing its thing, obviously, because when you revved it, the water's sort of flowing through the motor. So yeah, so we had a stuck thermostat. Thank God it was a thermostat and not an engine. Worst case, I do have a spare engine sitting over there in the Commodore, so I would have just sat that one in here. And but yeah, so we're safe for now. So before we run into things, I'll show you the new parts we got for it, or part. What have we got here? A big box. Must be something cool in there. Oh, packaging, nice. Let's take it out. Now I haven't seen this at all, so let's have a look. All right, look at that, nice shiny new parts. This is our brand new, so just ordered it like 2 weeks ago, but came last week, but I haven't really opened it. This is our Redback 3-inch exhaust system for the GU. Let's see, Redback. It's been powder coated in black, which I really like. Keeps it nice and stock looking. And it's got a muffler. That's the rear tailpipe section that goes at the back. That bolts into where the rear axle is, goes over the top, and then that comes out like a little dump there, and this is the midsection, and this is going to bolt up just behind where our flex joint is broken. But this sort of goes behind the flex joiner. The flex joiner is a little bit further up, so we still got to get that flex joiner redone and fixed, and this get another flange welded. So this might have to wait a couple of weeks because not many exhaust places are open. Well, not many fab shops are open, so this might have to wait a couple of weeks till we get the exhaust done. It's one of the last things we have to do to get the car roadworthy because it's almost complete. But once you do that and get rid of that stupid exhaust leak, it sounds so loud with it. And yeah, it's got the muffler in there, it's all nice and brand new. Get the new flex joiner done. Hopefully it should sound nice like it did before and be enough for roadworthy. This is past roadworthy fine anyway. My roadie guy will look after me. So I got the battery on charge as well, so I might go grab that, whack it in, and might try start it. Another thing I want to do is I want to try and get it back into 2-wheel drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack the rear wheels up and get them free spinning so I can sort of rotate it. I'm going to take that shift linkage off in here. Ready? Oh yes. So I'm going to take the shifter out completely because like it's just all floppy. Also going to put some WD-40 on that shifter linkage shaft on the transfer case and try and hopefully free that up a bit, get the spanner on there. But with the rear wheels in the air, because all four not on the air, it's not binding up, and I think it's still binding up because of the mismatching diff ratios. I'll jack the rear wheels up in the air, chock the front wheels so it doesn't take off on me. We'll go under there and try and click it. I might get the missus to rotate the tires while I'm trying to click it into gear. And if we get it into too high, might take it for a little drive just around the block and maybe put the GoPro on the back, get an exhaust note or whatever exhaust note I can get with the exhaust leak. But hopefully it should sound pretty cool. I think we might have to take that thermostat out too, eh? And that looks pretty easy to get to. Pop that coolant neck off, put a bucket under there. I think it's 3 bolts, 3 10mm or something. Pop that thermostat out, and hopefully she should breathe a bit better. But I am going to order a new one. It's just that it's all click and collect at the moment. My mate works at Repco, so he might be able to get me one. All right, first of all, just undo this hose clamp at the bottom here. I've got a bucket under there. I don't know how well the placement is, but we'll find out. Well, I had one thermostat bolt left and started pissing down, so I went and took a shit, come back out, and stopped raining. So get that last bolt out. Got my hand covered in red cordial, but we're good. So let's get that housing and thermostat out and test it. Well, there's our thermostat. It doesn't actually look too bad, but they can be deceiving. I mean, the rubber is a little bit perished, so I don't know. I reckon this thing's been there for a very long time. Good thing is that it's not rusty. So obviously it's been running coolant, so it's kept the rust off of it. But it spring's really hard to push down. But yeah, sometimes I like to drill a little pilot hole inside the thermostat here, just let a little bit of water in on a cold start. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that out because that's really, that should be easy to push. Jesus Christ, in a lot of force. But yeah, that could have been our issue the whole time. But got the housing here, and as soon as I took this off, it just pushed water out. Obviously it's supposed to do that, but yeah. So here's a housing here. So I'll put some new gasket gill on there, whack it on and see how we go. But yeah, I'll order a new one of these. I could use the one out of the other LS, but I'll just get a brand new one. Don't want to cut corners. All right, best way to test the thermostat, put it in here for a while, see if it opens. So let's see if it opens after a while. So boiling water from a kettle, leave it in there for about 5 minutes, see if it opens. All right guys, it's been sitting there for about 5 minutes, and yeah, thermostat hasn't opened at all. There's a little gap in the bottom there, so it's like it's trying to open on an angle, but it's just getting seized. So there's a tiny little gap. It should be opening nice and smoothly, and that spring should be compressing. But you can sort of see, yeah, it's stuck. Oh well, that's better than a new engine, I guess. I know a lot of you might say that water's probably not hot enough, but I test all my thermostats doing this, and tested probably at least 20 of them. They've all opened up. Even the high temperature one should open up, and that's a pretty average looking thermostat. So yeah, I think she's stuck. But that's common. Car's been sitting 15 months, so you never know, all the climate changes and shit like that. So yeah, let's put it back in and see how she goes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so what I'm gonna do now is get under there on my little creeper. It's a wet floor, so don't wanna get me bum wet. Get under there, take the transfer shifter off, chock the front wheels, jack the back up, get the wheels in the air, and hopefully get this thing back into too high. Cool, so I got the shifter out. I didn't want to film it because it takes me like 2 seconds to get it off because I'm so freaking good at it now. We just have the jack under the diff, and as you can see, the rear tire's just off the floor. That one is too, just so we can rotate. See, it's in gear now, but you see we can rotate them. So what I'm gonna do is just keep rotating it while I try and jam that shifter into gear, and hopefully we can get it into gear. And then if we do, I'll take it for a little drive. But just letting the adhesive dry on that thermostat housing. That's all done. And then after we do that, run it, bleed it a bit, fill it up with water, and yeah, see how we go. So yeah, let's try and get this thing back into gear. I was gonna film underneath, guys, but it's just so dark, and even if my phone light, it's shit, you can't see. But we're back in 2-wheel drive now, so jacking it up, taking some weight off the wheels, and like a lot of you said last time to roll back, but even when I was doing that, it wasn't doing it, it was just binding up, and I think that's just the diff trying to fight it. So I managed to get it back in 2-wheel drive pretty easily actually. So I just clicking it, it was jammed, so I just came out and rotated the tires, clicked it back, and it went into too high. So this is neutral, And if we go underneath, so if we go underneath, that's the rear drive shaft. You can see when I spin, it rotates the rear tires and not the front shaft. Front shaft stays still. And to make sure we're not in neutral, because sometimes the transfer case likes to get stuck in neutral, go to rotate the tire and we're in gear. Beautiful. So we know that's working. And right now I'm just going to leave the shifter out of it so I don't accidentally click it back. And then when we put the new transfer case in later, we can put the shifter mechanism back in. We're not going to need four-wheel drive just yet. I've got to change a diff anyway. So I think now that we've done that, and the sun's come back out for a little bit before it starts pissing down again, I'm going to fill up the coolant now that I've given that sealant some time to dry. Fill up the coolant, we'll start it, let it run for a bit, let it bleed itself. I reckon we might take it for a little spin and see how it goes. I haven't driven it yet properly on the 33s yet, so see how it goes. All right, so I got a couple of these 1.5 litre bottles. So a couple of these hopefully should fill up nicely, and then we'll run it and just let it self bleed. I know a lot of you are probably asking why water instead of coolant, so I'll just use water for now until we put a new thermostat in, so I'll do that before we get registered anyway. Well, we're full now. Yeah, what we're going to do is just run it with water for a bit, see how it goes. We'll put the red coolant. So I always keep the coolant that the car had previously, so if it's had red coolant, I'll keep it with the red coolant. If it's had green, I'll keep it green. It's not really good to mix and match, but I'll just keep it with what it came. So I didn't lose too much water. I probably lost about 2.5 litres. So yeah, still got coolant circulating in there. So when we run it, it should all mix in. And then after that, we can buy some premix and then put some distilled water in there. I'll go get the battery for it. The battery is really shit. It's almost dead. I've had it charging for like 2 days and still like barely cranks it over. So put the battery in it and try and fire up. All right, key of happiness. All right, so there we go. Don't know if you can hear it on camera, but the fans are going. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, guys, is obviously last episode, not the last one, the one before, I took the car for a drive and there was a lot of Karens on the comments that were commenting about no seatbelt when I took it around the block. Do apologise for that, but a lot of you are saying, oh, the car's unregistered. I've actually got a monthly vehicle permit on it, so I can drive it around if I need to go to like mechanics and that, or I need to drive it to like, just say I got to take it to the exhaust shop. I've got a monthly permit on it. Usually I put them in the windscreen, but I haven't printed it out, it's just on my phone. So if I do get pulled over, I really need to take the plates off, because like obviously if the police scans the plates and it comes up unregistered, they'll pull me over. But I'll take the plates off when I actually drive it to shops, and that way when they pull me over, if they pull me over, I'll have a permit. That's all legal, so I can drive it. But yeah, I'll wear my seatbelt this time. Yeah, hopefully that will soothe the Karens. You can never make anyone happy. Don't try and please everyone, guys. It never works. Running for about half an hour now, not bad. Well, that was a semi-successful test drive to say the least. Jesus. So it actually drives really well. I hope it sounds good on the GoPro. I don't know how it sounded. The RD sounded good when I put the GoPro in the same spot. Hopefully the LS did, but I don't know, the exhaust leak, it might have not sounded as good. It sounded grouse in the car. I was going from, I didn't get it on camera because the GoPro died, but I've been running for about an hour. And I went from second into third pretty hard. I'm giving it a hard time because it goes good. And when I hit third, it just died. It died. It just like sort of backfired and just died, come to a halt. I tried to start it. It was like coughing and spluttering. And I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. Left it for about a minute, started again, it started right up. So I don't know what that was. It might have been like something earthing out, maybe a loose strap somewhere. The battery terminals aren't really, they're just sort of sitting on there. I don't know, it could be anything. So I'm gonna have to go over everything and just sort of make sure nothing's shorting. The things you do when you get into a project car, I guess. You just gotta go over everything and make sure it's 100%. Although the cooling was perfect. I had it running for a long time. I had it sit in the driveway for ages. It sits on about a quarter when it's just idling for ages. And then when you're driving, it sits on half. But other than that, yeah, that was the longest drive I've been on it. Power steering's back, so it's amazing. It drives like a car again. The only thing that's weird is the steering wheel was a bit off because I got a 135 on this side. So I got to get my other wheel off my mate and give that back to the old owner. The 33, it drives really nice. It actually drives better than my old Patrol, funnily enough. And I got it up pretty high and it had no death wobble. So thank God for that. Yeah, but for now, guys, I'm just going to leave the transfer shifter out of it now that we're back in two-wheel drive. Just for now, until I sort out another transfer case. Also got the rear tail lights working, so that was good. So now it's all legit at the back like it was. Tow bar, all that shit. We're good. Been fighting the rain all day, guys, so it's been filming pretty much all day. But this is probably going to be a shortish episode on the Patrol. So I think in the next video, I'm going to go over all the wiring, make sure it's all mint, so that doesn't happen again. It could even be an ignition thing, I don't know. So we'll just go into it. A lot of you remember that first started watching this build series, or not build series, this series. When I first got the car and I went to start it, it like backfired a couple times before I started it. And I know it's not timing, because timing's fine, it runs fine. So it could be a couple of other things. It could be bad plugs, could be the fuel pumps sort of shorting here and there. It's supposed to have a brand new fuel pump in it, so we've got to work through things very slowly to make sure our car's 100%. And that way when we go get it registered, we can drive it around, not worried about getting stranded again. But yeah, I think that concludes today's episode on the Patrol. I'm actually in the middle of filming an episode on the Skyline. It's under this cover. I had a sponsor reach out to me and they sent me some products, which was good. So they wanted to sponsor the next episode, so I'm working on that, so that's awesome. Obviously got the new parts for the GU, and we've got new parts for the FD build. So the FD build will be new episode coming out in that soon. As you can see, she's getting there underway very, very slowly. And the engine bay, we've been doing some work. So that's for another episode. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this short episode on the GU, LS1 Patrol. It was a lot of fun filming this one. Also fighting the weather was pretty fun because I didn't know when the hell it was going to piss down on me. So for all you watching, thank you so much, and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Please consider it, help me out a lot. To anyone that watched the video, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next video, hopefully we can fix this bloody Patrol. So we'll see you then. Catch ya.